Rappers aren't something you can invest in like a company, but what if they were? Who would you invest in this year to blow up? People fall off every year, people blow up every year. And here are 10 artists I think have the potential to blow up into the mainstream, or like the honorable mentions, reach numbers that these first 5 have. First, Jev, not FaZe Jev, the COD player. This is a rapper who I was barely introduced to last year. He is insanely good. He gained traction on TikTok through his song Where's the Confetti?
Where the confetti? Niggas get shot like the camera ready. Like my shooters working pulling.
I don't know about y'all, but that song is fire. I instantly loved it when I heard it. I haven't really heard much from him apart from the Color Grey album, which includes Where's the Confetti. That first 3-song run is crazy, and that whole album in general is good, but apart from that, like I said, I haven't really looked into him. Just with that, I can tell he is amazing. There's a reason he has 850,000 monthly listeners. He is the most popular person on this list I have, and I still think he's underrated. He only recently blew up last year, which is crazy that he's already reached numbers like this. It really shows how great he is. If you're a fan of Joey Badass, JID, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Denzel Curry, any of those guys, you'd love Jev. My one prediction for this year, I feel like he could definitely end up being signed to Dreamville at some point. I feel like he would mesh well into those artists. Don't make the mistake that I did. Go listen to him. Next, we have my personal favorite on this entire list, DC the Don. DC has been my favorite rapper for the past few years. Now, you may have heard his name from the song Worst Day, which dropped during 2020.
And she always said in the worst way. Why you tripping? It's almost my birthday. It's a Muriel on my shirt.
Or because he was a XXL freshman, which he was one of the best in my opinion. Obviously, I'm biased. I got into DC like early 2020, and I've liked pretty much every single song he's released since then. And even before then, I went back and listened to his older stuff, and there's still value in it. Obviously, a good chunk of it isn't really great, but it's surprising how good he sounded even back then. And in 2022, I actually saw him live, which is the poster to my right, which was awesome to see him perform live from the gutter. That intro is amazing, and it's his best.
My niggas really found your crib and they posted up. Both sides in the back room.
And that is a hype song. But he can also do other styles of music, which is what I think I love about his songs. He can do the hype like Live from the Gutter or my personal favorite song, Crazy Clip. But he can also do more emotionally driven songs or like sad songs like Maniac. Which is like my favorite of that style. And then Funeral was like a whole different sound. Generally, I think he can do a lot of different things, and that's also evident in his collaborations he does. He's collaborated with artists like Midwest, while also being able to jump on a song with Young Chris. He's never been one to collaborate a lot, but recently he's done it more often. Generally, I hope DC starts getting more features. His versatility is, I think, what makes him so special. The different beat selections, sounds, and just styles he hits are fucking awesome. I could go on, but I won't. Speaking of being versatile, the next on the list is Quay the Artist. He is someone that I found out about in 2020 because he submitted the song In My Head to Patrick CC's like paid promo streams that he used to do, and I used to always watch Patrick CC's back then, and I'm not the only one that sees how good he is. Him and Patrick ended up creating a genuine friendship because of how much Pat liked his music and saw potential in him. 3.5 years later, they have released many songs and projects together, which is great because Quay himself hasn't dropped a solo project since 2020 and had some really good songs like Stew,
You got me grinding my grill.
Van Gogh, and a bunch of others. But like I said, he's also been dropping great singles and just collaborations with Pat, like the Stamped EP, which is a short EP, but it really shows how versatile he is. Each song is different, and I think that's a great way to be introduced to him. He also had a series going of Tuned In Tuesdays, which for 18 weeks, he dropped a music video for either an old song or a new song. A lot of those videos were highlighting SoundCloud songs that I didn't even know existed. 2024, he's already announced that he's going to drop some new singles soon, and an album this year, which I'm very, very excited. I think for having 133,000 monthly listeners, he's very underrated, and I am very excited to see what he does this year, and shit, maybe I'll be able to see him live. Next, we actually have a rap group. Now, I feel like in recent times, rap groups have kind of died off, but these guys, Coast Contra, can be the next wave of a great rap group. They blew up off of a freestyle they did on the Never Be by JID.
Okay, I kick up, flip shit, hop, keep it moving. Hip hop, you can't stop this type of movement.
I don't think these are off the dome freestyles, but that's what they're called. And after that, they kept releasing other fire freestyles. And that's really how I know them. I know they have an album out, but I've never gone out of my way to check it out. I have seen a lot of their freestyles, like I said, 5 of which they just released on like Spotify and stuff, which contains my favorite freestyle they did, the Scenario freestyle.
You ain't gotta fuck with me, just don't fuck with me. Coach got trust in me, they get fucked with me.
I think what works so well for them is that it's 4 members and they're all very different, but in a way that where they balance each other out. So you have the twins, which is Taj and Raz. They don't really have anything like specifically unique about them like the other two do, but that's not a bad thing at all. They kind of bring this balance and they are just fantastic. And like I mentioned, Eric Jamal is like the energy of the group. Every freestyle he brings out this crazy energy that is fucking awesome to see, especially considering it's like lyrical rap. He just knows how to get you hyped up. And the 4th member is Rio Los, and he's also very unique in the sense that he not only raps in English, but he spits fire in Spanish too. And together they just come together to create magic. This year I expect them to drop an album and a song to blow up. At least that's what I'm hoping for because they deserve it. And last but not least, we have Rodrigo, who is someone that I discovered in an aux battle that Patrick CC hosted. As you can tell, if you're tapped into Patrick, you will find a lot of great music. But this specifically wasn't even Pat that put me on. It was Doug. Shout out Doug. He played him during an aux battle. Everyone fucking loved his song Tears. And that song is just amazing. It has some crazy energy. He is just fire. He could have maybe been bigger than he is, but in 2023, he only dropped 3 songs because he was arrested. So there was kind of a lack of releases there. And in general, he doesn't even have that much music out. He only has 7 songs in total, which is great considering he has 245,000 listeners off of just 7 songs. With that being said, though, he did say he's dropping a project soon, which I think could elevate him to a new level. Another interesting fact is all his songs are clean. He doesn't cuss in any of them, so go to Rodrigo and play his music when you're with your parents. Now, real quick, I want to give some honorable mentions. These are people that I'm not like too familiar with that I couldn't really give a lot of information on. And first up is Abe 2 Times, who has 1,000 monthly listeners. I've only really heard 2 songs, which are Too Far Gone.
Baby, you too far gone. Been doing this way too long. Ain't nothing for me to move on.
And Love.mp3. I could see him getting a lot of monthly listeners this year if he keeps grinding. He does have a bit more music released, but I just haven't heard a lot. I have heard some like unreleased stuff, which sounds great. And he also got like kind of a cosign by Your Age, the streamer, because he reacted to the song Love.mp3.
I put my pain on MP3s and all the things you make me feel my love, my baby.
That put me in a trance, I ain't gonna lie. I just listened to the whole shit on accident. I didn't mean.
I'm excited to see where he is in a year from now. I think he can get up to easily 5,000 monthly listeners, if not way more. Next, we have Devin Lex, who only has 551 monthly listeners. For him, I do only know one song, and he's a feature on it, and that is V12.
There ain't no room in this V12 going 95 with no seatbelt. If it's time to slide, chopper.
And that song is good in general, but to me, Devin Lex is the highlight of that song. I don't really know any other songs by him. I know he does have a lot of songs out, but I just haven't taken the time to go listen to them. So if you like that little snippet of him, I would recommend you go listen to his other music because that deep voice he got is crazy. Next, we have the smallest artist I have on here, and that is TLC Mono. He has only 9 monthly listeners, and I've only heard this song Trim. It sounds like someone that would have a lot more than just 9 monthly listeners.
He talking on the gang, so we took off a limb. We took off fit, I just curved the brim. Mono and this, so I just broke the rim.
Now, I don't have any real information on him or have heard any of his other songs. I've only heard that one. But just from that, I feel like he deserves a lot more than just 9. So go check him out. Let's get him to at least 50. Come on, we can do that. Next, we have AKA Burnsy, who has 1,868 monthly listeners. There's 2 songs I like, that being Top Pop and HBCU.
Get back, I do not fuck with the chit chat.
I've heard a bit of his music, like his mixtape and he definitely has a lot of good music and talent, but those 2 are like the only real songs that fit what I listen to. I found him again through aux battles. He appeared in the self-promo one. He did pretty good. And speaking of self-promo aux battle, we have the winner of that aux battle, Kang, who is by far more popular than the previous 4 I mentioned. He has 39,000 monthly listeners, but he is incredible with songs like Never Forget.
Some things you'll never forget.
and Honey in the Cloud. His singing is just crazy, and I'm sure he'll only go up and up this year. I would definitely recommend to go check out all his music. And if you still want to hear more underground artists that are great, go watch that self-promo Ox Battle. There was a lot of good talent there. I'm sure you'll find one person you like on there. I also have a playlist on Spotify called Ride the Underground, which is just a bunch of underground artists ranging from big to small. And if you got any recommendations of who I should put on there, or you want to give me some money to put you on there, hit me up in the comments or in my DMs, whichever is fine. But yeah, let me know who you think is gonna blow up this year. Who would you invest in?